people are notorious for naming their children 25-letter names that they're never going to get even pronounced right, let alone spelled right. Like, why would you do that?
Over there. Do you know why they actually do that?
Yeah.
The reason for that
What
is
is it?
because during slavery, their identities were taken away. So they had to have unique names in order to identify their offspring when they were sold from different plantations. So that came down generationally as generational trauma.
Okay, well, how about now? Isn't that sort of trauma for that poor kid that's never going to have his name spelled right?
Only to your standards.
Like, what is? If I were that child, I wouldn't want my name misspelled all the way through or mispronounced by people.
That's because people can't take the time to pronounce it correctly.
Whatever.
You can say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, but you can't say Jaquan. Are you kidding me?
Okay, whatever the result is, the poor child does not have his name pronounced correctly or spelled correctly.
Because people do not take the time. You can take the extra 2 seconds to do it, but instead you're sitting here making fun of a whole culture of people for things that they didn't have a choice on.
Do you have a name that gets misspelled a lot?
I sure don't.
Well,
because my mom whitewashed my name.
So that's racist.
So this is actually a young millennial black girl and white girl who makes these videos. And as much as I can appreciate what they are doing with this racist lady, some of their information was a little bit wrong. The wrong part was the fact that our ancestors gave us names that were more Africanized, simply to identify their children once they were freed from the plantation, is absolutely incorrect. Most of the people who were freed from slavery in the 1800s up until the late 1900s gave their children Anglo-Saxon names. Hell, my name is Lorenzo, which is an Italian name, but they gave their children European names to a certain extent because they were just continuing the oppressive nature of being in America and making it easier for Americans. And these were just the names that they were also just used to. It wasn't until you started having the movements of Marcus Garvey, of Malcolm X, that you started getting more Africanized names. And hell, I believe my generation may have been the first massive move in that direction, where we got a lot of LaQuishas and Javons. Well, Javon's not even, but you started getting more Africanized names. Those names were given to identify us back to our ancestors. Those names were in rebellion to the Anglo-Saxon rule that has going on in America. And you know that this woman is being racist towards black people, because if she was truly trying to express that thought, that it would be easier for a child in the Americas to have an Anglo-Saxon name, she would have brought up the people from India. She would have brought up the people from Russia. She would have brought up the people from Croatia. She would have brought up the people from Sweden. And because when you look at their names are not easily pronounced by Americans. Their names are not easily spelled by Americans. They are not common names in America. To name your child Rachmaninoff, I can't spell that. To name your child Reykjavik, I can't spell that, nor can most Americans can't spell those names either. And this is also shown when you look at the Italian names. When Italians would come to Staten Island, or Ellis Island, I should say, when they would come to Ellis Island, if the Anglo-Saxons couldn't pronounce the true name of the Italian, they would give it their best shot and literally change those people's name. I've met many Italians who, when we went to Italy, tried to find their Italian families, and their names they found out their names weren't true Italian names. And so they struggled to find their Italian families because of the way colonial and America treated the Italian immigrants. So the woman is really displaying her true racism just towards black people, because she doesn't like the fact that she doesn't want to take the time to actually learn these people's names and how to say them correctly. This is why I'm very adamant on my lives about saying a person's name correctly, because I believe you should honor a person by saying their names exactly how their names are spelled and how they're pronounced. But I believe in being respectful to people, no matter who they are or where they come from. She didn't mention the Polynesians or the Hawaiians, the Asians, because I guarantee she doesn't know how to spell their names either. But I applaud those young ladies for showing the racism that is still very prevalent in America, and how America is truly the melting pot of America is that everybody melts and become Anglo-Saxon instead of being a nice salad with a whole bunch of different flavors, with a bunch of different colors, because that's what makes a good salad. Just plain green salad is boring. But you throw some peppers and a whole bunch of other things in there, that makes a good salad. So y'all have a great day. And remember always, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.